Hello and welcome to Chess Chat, live from the Rollstone Bank and Trust Studios at Fitchburg Access Television. My name is Dave Couture from Northampton. I'm sitting in for George Mirajanian tonight, who is in the hospital with a minor medical issue, and he should be back for the next episode, whenever that will be. We all wish him well, and he is missed. All right, now I have to do all the boilerplate here. So the show is produced by members of the Wachusett Chess Club at Fitchburg State University, which meets every Wednesday in rooms 163, 165 in the McKay complex. We also have to thank our director, Darren Dame, who's been doing this for 20 years, which is kind of mind-blowing. Brian Bigelow, who sets up the sets here. He sets up the cameras, operates the cameras. He helps out in the control room. And last but not least, doing a giant favor to me is Mike Commisso of Brookline, New Hampshire, right? Brookline,
that's
yes.
Right.
Anyway, welcome.
Thanks. You know, we've done this once together without George, so I guess we'll be okay. big shoes to fill, but we'll be all right.
Yeah, we've got a lot of air to fill tonight. I told George I don't have his gift of gab, but maybe between the two of us, we'll be able to pull it off. So let's see, did I cover all the boilerplate stuff? I think I did. And, this is episode 211, which again boggles my mind that this has been done for that long. So tonight we're going to go over the Tata Steel India Rapid and Blitz tournament, which has been held annually since 2018 in it's called Kolkata, India now, originally Calcutta. And it's been typically it's the very best players in the world who play in this in the past. Like I see, Magnus Carlsen's won it multiple times, and Hikaru has won it. Anand, another previous world champion. So basically, the biggest names typically play. I did notice, and I'm not sure why, but this year, like the world champion had to bail out for some reason. Do you know anything about that?
No.
I know. I think he was supposed to play, but for some reason he had to back out, and I'm not sure why. Like Carlsen and Nakamura weren't playing, but so like the very top, like just the very top few did not play, but the people who do play are like the elite.
So the world champion is Gukesh,
right?
And he's Indian. I'm sure that was a big letdown to everybody there.
Yeah.
And then Magnus tends to only want to play these faster tournaments, so it surprises me he didn't make it.
Right.
And Hikaru has qualified for the candidates tournament and has said that he's really just focusing on that. He doesn't want to do anything else for that'll be in the spring. So I think he's laying low, and he streams, so he has his regular job.
Right, his regular day job. And that's the funny thing is he's made so much more money at his streaming than he's ever made as a chess player, which is pretty darn cool.
Well, and rare. I mean, there's only a couple of guys doing that.
There's only a couple guys doing it, but to imagine 10 years ago that someone would be doing this and making a living at it is amazing.
But the big shots are now competing for better prize funds, so it's sort of getting further spread out.
Yeah, it is kind of. I mean, in a way, it's kind of a golden age for chess right now. I don't think anybody could have predicted that chess.com would have over 100 million members. I think they may have broken 150 million by now. It's crazy.
I have no idea. I know that's like the default site people go to.
Yep.
Very popular.
So anyway, let's talk about the Rapid and Blitz tournament. The other thing, so they started in 2018. It's been held every year. In 2022, they also started a women's event parallel to it. And so that's been held every year since. I did notice that they didn't have one in 2025, and I looked it up, and it indicated that I guess every year it's been like in November. And for whatever reason, they decided to move it from November to January. So they moved the November 2025 up into January 2026. So that's why there wasn't one in 2025.
Well, they also have, Tata Steel also sponsors a tournament in the Netherlands that just finished. Maybe they they doubled up to have their time frame be January or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why, but anyway, it's been an annual event starting in 2018 for the Open and 2022 for the women. So first of all, we're going to show the winners, the first and second place finishers for each of the events. So Darren's got some photographs, and we're going to start with the rapid event was played first. The rapid had a time control of 15 minutes plus 10 seconds per move,
That sounds right.
which is very common rapid time control. And that was played from January 7th to the 9th. So in the open section, Darren's going to show these photos now. Finishing second in the open section was Viswanathan Anand. And Darren has a photo. So there he is. Now, to me, the amazing thing is, Anand, first of all, is a former world champion, but he's 56 years old. And it's like nobody else, like over the age of 40, is playing anywhere near his level. So he's someone who's basically barely diminished in the last 30 years.
Right, and apparently he's always been known as very fast player.
Right.
So these time controls still fit his skill set.
Right. Yeah, very, very early on when he was young, that's what he was known for. And I guess it was always wondered, like, is he going to be able to play the classical time controls? And the answer was yes, because he became world champion. And so he's like one of the only players of his age who's, I think he's like, even in classical, he's like still in the top 20.
He's around the top 10.
Yeah,
it depends, comes and goes, depending on what people do.
So he's amazing. He's kind of the exception in terms of age, because most, especially nowadays, there's a lot of very strong up-and-coming players who are in their like 20s, and then you've got people like, Magnus and Caruana who are like early 30s maybe. Early middle 30s. And then there's like almost nobody else, in their 40s or 50s except Anand. It's just amazing what he's done. So he came in second in the rapid. First place went to Nihal Suren. There he is. He's 21 years old from India, and he won $10,000 for finishing first. Anand got $6,000. So he's another, there's a bunch of Indian players who are young and rising very quickly, who are in their like early 20s, late teens. Like there's him, Suren, Gukesh, the world champion.
Yeah.
Now was Gukesh the youngest ever when he achieved it?
I want to say yes.
I think he was, yeah. So India right now is like the place that's producing both male and female superstars at an incredible rate. All right, so now we're going to move on to the women's section of the rapid, and finishing second there was Alexandra Goryachkina from Russia, age 27, and I'm not positive. Has she been the women's world champion?
I think she has been.
I think she has been women's world champion. On the women's side, it's tended to be somewhat different. On the men's side, it's like it was Magnus Carlsen for years until he decided he didn't want to play for the championship anymore. On the women's side, it seems like every time it's a different.
Yeah, there's been many more, and maybe a couple of them repeated, but it's hard to keep track of the order. There's been, I don't know, 6 or 7 women who've been world champ lately.
Yeah, like probably in the last 10 years. Yeah. So anyway, I think she was the classical women's world champion. And finishing first was Katerina Lagno, age 36, also from Russia. So she won the $10,000 first prize for winning the women's rapid section. So that was January 7th through 9th. They held the rapid, and then and that was a single round robin. So there were, I think, how many players were there? I think it was it? I can't remember if it was 10 or 14. I think it was 14. And they played 13
rounds.
13 rounds. So then for the Blitz, it had the time control of 3 minutes plus 2 seconds a move. Very quick. And that they did as a double round robin. So on the first day, everybody played everybody else once. And then the second day, they did it all over again, just with colors reversed. So they played 26 rounds, I believe. Oh, no, I have it here. No, there must have been 10 players because they played 18 rounds total. They played 9 in the rapid. They played 18 rounds in the Blitz. So there were 10 players. So the interesting thing in the Blitz is that an American won both sections. I think we only had one American in each. One American male was Wesley So, and Carissa was the only American female, and they both won the Blitz. So, all right. So first, we'll talk about the Open Blitz. In second place was again Nihal Sarin, who was the winner of the Rapid. He came in second in the Blitz, and then we have America's Wesley So. Right there. He came in first, $7,500 first prize. So Wesley is 32 years old. He's been U.S. champion at least once, I believe. And Wesley, he was born in the Philippines. He came here, I think in his teens.
Yeah.
He lives in Minnesota. Super nice guy, super friendly guy. And anyway, he won.
He's also won the Chess 960 World or Fisher Random. I don't know what they're calling it now or back then, but they scramble the back position of the back row pieces and then play a tournament, normal style tournament.
Yep.
He won that, I think, in 2018.
Okay.
Or 2019.
I think it was like the first time they did it, wasn't it?
Yeah, they did. And then they disappeared. Like FEB couldn't work it out with anybody to organize it.
And they're sort of trying to bring that back again.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be back.
There's a benefactor from Germany who's tried to have a tour. He had a tour last year.
Yeah.
And now they've negotiated with FEB to have a world championship in that format.
Yep. And I think Magnus Carlsen is a big proponent of that.
He is, yeah. Mainly because I think he doesn't want to have to keep up with the studying required to match everybody else's dedication to all the various computer engine lines that are available now.
Right.
And when its back row is scrambled, you're not likely to remember 1,000 positions and what to do.
You have to start thinking from the first move, which is the nice part.
And what's interesting there is they have the players who have white and black can team up with each other and discuss the position just before it starts, like for 10 minutes.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I'd love to be able to listen in on those.
Yeah, they do like zoom in on them, but sometimes like a couple people just keep to themselves to be private or keep their secrets or something. I don't know, but
I'd love to
it's pretty cool when you hear these really big shots discussing how to think about a position.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the open section for the Blitz, and now last but absolutely not least. The women's Blitz, second place on tiebreak was the Indian Vantika Agrawal, age 23, yet another one of the up-and-coming Indian players. She came in second on tiebreak, but the one who won it, as you've probably seen in the title, is none other than the Wachusett Club champion in 2014, I think, Carissa Yip, who won on tie breaks, and Mike is going to tell us a little about the story of how that came to be, because at the end of all the rounds, both Carissa and Vantika were tied, but the way they became tied is interesting. You were telling me before the show, so why don't you go over that?
They play 9 rounds in a day, and then get a break for the night and play again the next day.
Right.
So you play everybody playing the same people with opposite colors.
Right.
So they've obviously played each other twice in the round robin portion of the event. Carissa lost both games.
Yeah.
And both times, one time Vantika passed her, and then the other time she was on a hot streak of 4 wins in a row to get into position for the tie, for the tie break, to even get to the finals. It's amazing.
So had they just played like the very last round before the tie break?
I have it as round 15.
Okay, so not quite. Okay, but that allowed her to tie Carissa.
So she went ahead of Carissa in the first day, 4.5 to 4 with her win. And then the second day, she was down 2 points, and she got back within 1, 8.5, 7.5.
Yeah.
And there were still a few more rounds. And she was in the middle of this 4-game streak to get back all 2 points she was behind, which she managed.
Yeah, so that had to make the final result kind of heartbreaking for her. But in any event, rather than present the game today, we're going to show the actual coverage. I don't know if I know who provided the coverage. It might say it somewhere on the screen. But we're going to show the actual video of the tie break. So because Carissa and Vantika were tied, they wanted to have a single first place winner. So they had them play first a 2-game playoff. If it had been tied after that, I don't know what the plan was. But sometimes they go to an Armageddon game. Sometimes they just continue until somebody finally wins. But so we're going to show those 2 games, and
there's a pretty good chance that it's either Chess 24 with a feed from India, or Chessbase is a database company. Chessbase India. I know one of the announcers is Tanya Sakdev. She's an international master. There's a reasonable chance the other person is Sagar Shah, who's like the main commentator in Indian chess. He's everywhere. Okay. So Darren's going to cue up the first game of the playoff between Carissa and Vantika, and Carissa in this case was black.
Black first. So I think Carissa.
Handshakes. Let's go, Sahaj. Let's go. This is the moment in the women. There we have it. It's the queen's pawn opening. Carissa does what Carissa always does. She's going to fianchetto the bishop on g7. She's going to go e5 with the central pawn, bring her knight out. We've seen this so many times from Carissa. She starts with the c5 pawn though this time.
And she takes the pawn on d4. White goes knight takes d4. Okay. Hello. This is the finals. h5 is already on the board. She goes queen b6. Very aggressive choice by Carissa Yip there, Tanya.
Comes in another aggressive move, attacking the knight at the center of the board, forcing the hand there. Goes to b5, can be pushed out, but you have to calculate what happens after bishop to e3. Carissa pushes the knight back, and there we have
queen
bishop
takes e3.
Attacking the queen.
Just take it. Take everything.
Carissa comes back to the safest square on the board.
I genuinely like queen takes e3 in that position, actually.
Okay, that was never going to happen. Never.
I was thinking of that game between Firouzja and Karthikeyan, where he sacrificed a queen for 2 minor pieces. But yeah, here it is a very bad move. You are absolutely correct. But now that pawn on h5 looks a bit awkward. Imagine you're castling now and your pawn is on h5. That looks a bit weird.
And the knight comes out. All right, let's get a poll going on our chat. It's Carissa versus Vantika in the Blitz tiebreaker. Chat, who do you think wins the women Blitz in this one? Both absolute fighters. The rook comes to c1. It's a healthy position for both players, I have to say. White with that slight space advantage currently, but nothing for Carissa to be too afraid about, too concerned with. Rook eyeing the c8 square.
Yeah, rook c8, I think a very logical move. This looks like one of those accelerated dragon positions, but white has just not pushed e4 yet.
What black wants to do is try to get b5 on the board as quickly as possible. That's the move, and there it happens. Once you're able to break with either b5 or d5 in any Sicilian-esque structure, you know you're doing good with black.
Absolutely. And now, difficult choice for Vantika. By the way, look at the speed at which Carissa is playing. Already having a 40-second advantage is pretty good, I think, in this format. Takes on b5, black recaptures, and now again Vantika taking a huge time to think here. Almost a minute difference between these two players. That's not a good sign for Vantika.
And with that capture towards the center, you also open up a potential A line to reroute your pieces at the right time. If you're Carissa, I think Carissa is very pleased with the outcome of this opening. Vantika, they're unsure of plans, makes a small improving move, but is it really improving anything in the position as Carissa brings her queen out, now pinning the knight on c3?
Yeah, it kind of feels like that Carissa is putting pressure on both sides of the board with h5 and also now with queen f5, you know, eyeing down that pin and that pawn on a2. It just looks like she has everything going right for her. Plus a minute and 10 seconds more.
Wow, and you could just clamp down on the queen side with b4 as well, that 1 versus 2, just making sure that a2 remains weak and backward for the rest of the game. I can see ideas of eventually finding your way, well actually hard to find your way on the a line for the rook with bishop controlling a7 and a8, but b4 in the air.
Yep, played, and now knight has to find a place to go somewhere. Probably knight d5 makes the most sense, but knight a4 would just lose a pawn.
Knight d5 would be mass trades. Knight takes knight, you'll have to take the bishop, king takes bishop, then recapture on d5, which would neutralize a lot of pressure. But I'm liking black's position here simply with the pawn dynamics. 1 versus 2, Carissa's pawn holds off that majority, and on the other side it's 5 versus 4, very flexible.
Yep, she goes knight b1. That's not a good move at all. That feels like Vantika is admitting that her position is worse, and just ignore the position altogether. Look at the time, Tanya. It's 45 seconds against 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I mean, that's just not okay.
And it's okay to have that much time if the position is simplified, if you're in some kind of endgame with just a few pieces. But the thing is, this game is just getting started. White's problems are yet to be solved.
Exactly, and look at that. Speaking of problem solving, she played f3 and it's a mistake, and we all know why. We all know why this is a mistake, Tanya.
It's the golden pawn. Don't touch it.
Ever. It's always a mistake. She wants to play e4 or she wants to go g4 to try and create some pressure on the king's side, but
it's such a strange pawn formation to have with all 4 pawns on the 3rd rank. This is just Vantika struggling with any way to improve her position. She's looking at an e4 push, but right now it's e5 that comes first. Bishop will fall back.
The d6 pawn under attack. Can you take on c8 and take on d6 or no?
She probably wants to take with the bishop. Rook takes rook, bishop goes back to e6. Now watch out for a d5 break in the center. Carissa's going to try to set that up. Look at that. Queen placed, eye-lining f2. King g2, making sure there's no infiltration. At some point, I'm expecting Carissa to break in the center with d5.
Or bishop h6. Look at that sneaky idea.
Oh, nice.
22 seconds for Vantika. She has to make a move quickly. She takes the rook on c8 and now rook c8. Queen d6 cannot be played because rook c2 check is there. Does she take it?
No, she won't take it. Rook c2, queen f2 coming in. It looks incredibly dangerous.
Bishop h6. Bishop h6 is GG.
H6, you hit the queen. Queen e2. How is it GG? What's the finishing blow?
h4. Your dark squares are just gone. I mean, your bishop on a1 is just so bad.
Goes queen a5. She wants to go rook a8 and just win material. And Vantika sets up a defense. If needed, she'll place her rook on the 2nd rank.
Just play h4. No, I mean, I'm not sure why she's not going for it.
She might go for it now.
No, but if you play h4, then you also don't allow white to play f4 ever, which could be a problem in the future. She goes bishop c4.
Alright, Vantika, she's putting pressure on d6. She's trying to trade some pieces off. Carissa coolly exchanges. Vantika now down to seconds. c4 weak.
Rook c1 not possible because that bishop is looking on the c1 square.
Knight d2 also will end up losing a pawn.
She's
at the end.
That's way little time. Oh, no. That's queen c4 hanging, queen a2 also hanging.
She's going to take this. She's going to take this when Carissa Yip is. She can take queen takes pawn, queen takes queen, rook takes a queen in the end. C2 checks are there. But Carissa just keeps the pressure. She defends d6. This allows Vantika to defend her own pawn, but she loses a2 now.
And now bishop h6 back. Bishop h6 back, and then you win a piece, no?
She goes queen to a4 instead. She's looking at just safety right now, putting pressure on the clock. She wants to push the b pawn if allowed, but stopped right now. She reroutes the knight to c5.
That's a beautiful square for the knight, and she can push b3 as well, but she cannot move it now because the f7 pawn is hanging. She plays king g8, nice prophylactic move there. And now f4. This is the move that I was worrying about earlier. That's why I wanted to play h4.
And it's awesome to play this move because you throw that spanner into the woods with just suddenly counter attack. For the first time, Carissa has to be careful. But queen trade, this decision surprises me. You're down a pawn right now, and you go into this endgame, and look at that knight, so beautifully placed. f4 is hanging as well. She's about to be 2 pawns up, Carissa Yip.
But knight e4 is my threat, Tanya. That could be dangerous. Knight e2, knight c3 is actually very good here. Knight d3 she plays, slight inaccuracy there. Bishop d4, okay, bishop g7, trade off the bishop. Yep, she does it. Yep, I think she's taking this one. I think Carissa Yip is going to win this one.
And now you can win a third pawn. Knight e5, take that pawn on c4 as well if you're black. And the whole house has fallen for white. That's 3 extra pawns for Carissa.
And we're in the rook endgame, rook c5, rook d5. It's just a matter of simple technique there.
Vantika, she'll fight on, but there isn't much to be played for here. In fact, she doesn't. It's handshakes. Vantika in a must-win in game 2 with the black pieces now.
That's not a good situation to be in, Tanya.
So there you go. That was the first game.
That was fast.
That was fast.
We held some events at the club, Blitz, in 5-0, and that seems fast.
Yeah.
And then we had one at this time control, 3+2,
Yep.
for a variety. It turns out we were, with the same number of rounds, we were done almost an hour early because
With
the
3+2?
base time really defined
Really?
how long the games went.
Okay.
And you get 2 seconds added per move, but unlike we'll see in a minute,
Yeah.
nobody's playing really long games.
Right, because it's so hard to play accurately.
It is.
So the games are typically very short.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the things hopefully the viewers get a sense for is what it's like to play Blitz, and you can sort of see why, in terms of people watching, streaming online, this is why it's so much more exciting for the casual player to watch this than, say the classical world championship where players are sitting thinking for many minutes at a time.
It almost gets to where chess is a TV sport.
Right,
Based on
right.
this, it's not, but
Right.
that's how it could be because
Right.
of, you get kind of excited when
Right.
you're watching it.
And
the
the thing-
announcers are really excited, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
they don't have to be the best in the world for them to be better than us and
Right.
saying things that are really helpful to hear when you're
Right.
watching a game.
Yep. Yep. So anyway, that was the first tiebreak game. So now the situation was that Carissa's going to get the white pieces, and all she has to do is draw to get first place. So that makes what you're about to see all the more interesting. And like you were saying, typically the fact that it's 3+2, the +2 doesn't really matter much because everybody's at our level, both players can make lots of mistakes, and the games typically don't last long. So what happens here just is more of an indicator of the level that these two are at, which is so far beyond our level.
Yeah.
It's
fun to watch. Let's just leave it at that.
It is. So this we're going to show the second tiebreak round. Carissa is white, which is a slight advantage, and all she has to do is draw to get first place. So roll the tape.
It doesn't matter, what the result is, but you play what you're comfortable with. And there it is. We have a Sicilian and Carissa Yip goes for the Alapin and Vantika plays E5. What is E5 here, Tanya?
I told you, has to go for the off-beat opening here. But it's a very committal move, Sahaj, because it leaves a big D5 weakness at the very start, very early on. Sicilians are famous for that, and look at that. Vantika getting the immediate opportunity, has to play it because F7 was tender as well. By the way, this is all opening theory. G6 defended. Now the knight and the pawn are attacked, and you have to take the white knight, give up your own piece at the center. Saj, I've always liked this for white.
Yeah, but Carissa playing so quickly here, I feel like the gamble for Vantika did not actually work because she has not castled. She's playing Queen E7, sort of avoiding this discovered attack with D4. Not really sure what's going on here. Now, as we have a switch, Tanya is going to the closing ceremony. She is going to confirm if we actually have 2 games or not. And we have Rakesh Bhai joining us.
Yo, Saj, this is the ultimate Blitz playoff, something the fans clearly wanted, and we will have some action because Vantika in a must-win situation.
Oh yes. As she goes, knight takes e6 and position is still fairly quite balanced. I'm very surprised by how fast both of these players are playing, but look at the time. The first game, Vantika had very less time. Like she had like 1.5 minute difference, but now she has a in comparison to her opponent. So Vantika playing quite fast.
Yeah, and I was watching the first game set in the Players' Lounge and with Wesley and Prag. So it was really nice to know their thoughts. And they were like, in fact, Wesley's finish was very similar to Vantika's finish in the last game of the double round robin stage. So they were having fun. Their eyes were glued to the screen. So everyone's watching this.
I think ours as well in that sense. As she plays Queen D7 to put some pressure on the D3 pawn.
Yeah, that looks tender. But Saj, do you, if you are in Carissa's shoes, do you play extra solid or you just play normal chess?
Just normal chess. I think play what you are most comfortable with, I think, is the best way to go when it comes to Blitz, because it is your hand that makes the moves. It is your hand. You have to be intuitively comfortable with what you're doing. So just play what you're most comfortable with, and that's it. And by the way, I think she could have taken that pawn on D3, but she did not, and that leaves Carissa with an extra pawn. But Vantika has an extra minute on the clock.
I think also Vantika has the initiative, and kudos. You were telling her to play fast because Vantika was in extreme time pressure in game 1. Looks like she has taken your advice, Saj.
Yes, but she's also a pawn down, which makes me a bit worried in this position. But she goes Queen B5. That's a nice move to attack B2 and D3. Wait.
And the blue arrow appears.
I'm not sure how simple Bishop C1 is here. Okay, maybe it's an only move. Yeah, it's the only move that defends B2 and D3 at the same time. And she
she finds it.
Beautiful. Carissa showing her class there, defending both of the pawns, but there is a huge time difference between these two players, but the position doesn't feel as complicated, Rakesh.
Yeah, not complicated at all. If white would love to make an escape square, get the king safe, keep everything protected, because a draw is enough to take the trophy home.
So how does she confuse matters now? She plays H5.
Nice, I like it.
No, she's kind of following Carissa's ideas here, because Carissa also played H5 in the opening, and I think she's trying to do something similar there. But the problem is that there is no attack on the king's side.
Yeah, the queen is attacked. I think you might just drop it back.
I'm still a bit confused here that she's an extra pawn up. There's no attack on the king's side. Why is the position equal?
I think it's just the space and the inactivity of those pieces. In fact, you know what Wesley Sir was suggesting, it's like in the first game, Vantika's pieces were like Fisher random chess, everything on the back rank. But I think kudos to Vantika. She has taken a chance, a risk by sacrificing the pawn in the opening.
Absolutely, and she's keeping extra that 40-second advantage over her opponent, which I think is a very big deal. As she goes rook e3, offering the queen trade there.
Or if you're black, you can't just trade queens because you want to keep the tension on the board, because black in a must-win situation.
Oh yes, knight c4 played, eyeing that e5 square down. She cannot play b5, of course, because there's knight e5. But how do you stop knight e5 altogether? Maybe queen a4 back and put the knight on a3, and then you think again.
Probably, but this might be the last time we reference Kolkata Knight Rider that can get into e5. That is one of Tanya's favorite codes here. But queen a4 played Sahaj. Knight has to go back.
She plays a3. Wait. That's a mistake.
Vantika taking over.
The bar kind of really shifted there. Not really sure why. b5 is the move, apparently.
No good square.
Knight e5, no?
And then knight g5.
And that queen has to defend the rook on d1. So that's an important move. And she doesn't play it. She goes rook e7.
I think she had to take that chance.
Golden opportunity miss there by Vantika. And now the time is also leveling.
Yeah,
This is not
can
good.
jump, x-raying the queen.
What does she do? She goes queen e8.
Oh, that's never a good sign, Sahaj.
Nope. Rook e1 played, and now double
trouble for white.
for black in that sense. And if you play rook d7, attacking the d3 pawn, or just defend it with rook e3 or rook d1 even. Rook 4 e3 makes a lot of sense to me. She goes knight e5. So generally speaking,
trades.
Generally speaking, in these positions, the bishop is supposed to be superior than the knight.
And you know there can be some checkmating ideas with queen f6, bishop h6, whoops, and rook takes knight.
Yep, that knight is very, very important in order to not get checkmated there.
And says that Vantika is now under 30 seconds.
Ooh, and now it's wait, rook e6. Rook e6.
Rook e6.
Rook e6.
Let's go. Chalo. She has to find it and take the trophy home.
Rook takes e6. I mean, that's very natural, no? Rook takes e6 and
she's going for it.
Take it.
Take it. Take.
If you take on e6, take on g6, take on e6, that should. Oh, she goes.
She goes with Harry. Queen
g7. I don't know, in the endgame, I feel like all of White's pawns are situated on the dark squares, which I don't think really helps Carissa.
Yeah.
Now queen takes f6 perhaps, and then bishop f6. Maybe the bishop is pretty strong there anyways.
Yeah,
She takes.
Queens are off.
Tablash. Incoming.
I mean, a draw. Carissa would be happy to accept that, but Vantika will keep fighting.
Yeah, but she has both of them having 15 seconds on the clock. She offers a trade of rooks. Should we take it? She goes king f1. Okay,
Yeah.
you take it. I don't know. I kind of like this for Vantika now. Let's push c4, please, like to fix all the pawns on the dark squares, and then we think.
Yeah, but she gives him a check, which gives Carissa the chance to repeat moves.
And now c4 for white, of course.
Oh, this is critical. She's hand.
Carissa should play c4 here.
She does.
Yes, that's a good move.
That's a savior. And now the bishop can also come back and sit nicely on c3.
Exactly. And just g3, king g2, king f3, and okay, you just chill. You ask, okay, what is your plan now? By the way, someone played the move on. I think Carissa played a move on 1 second earlier. 11 seconds on the clock for Vantika. She plays f6, trying to
Can't trade Vantika. Oh, she trades.
Yeah, no other chance.
There's no juice left now for.
No, but she can play g5, yeah, at some point, and
try to press on the right side of the board.
Exactly, knight f5 check. I don't know. Maybe Vantika can still play this. Like if she plays g5 here, how is she going to defend this? I don't know why she didn't play g5 before. Why knight d6?
She's trying to trade more pawns. Remember, black in a one must-win situation. Otherwise, white takes the title.
Knight b7 is very strange
It's
here.
very passive.
Okay, now g5 has to be played. But there are too many pawns fixed on the dark squares. Now, bishop e3 is a very nice move. Knight e6 can be played. Oh, wait. No. That can't be good, no?
And I think this is possible now. The a pawn can start running.
No, but the pawn on b6 is hanging. Wait, f4.
The golden pawn touched.
I have no idea.
C5, Carissa trying to create a pass pawn. Let's go 5 seconds.
Wait, I don't know who. I am for sure now. Vantika is back to playing for a win, and she's winning.
Is winning.
Wait, Vantika could be winning here.
What a turnaround!
Knight at 6. Okay, King A5. Wait, is that pawn hanging? Oh,
Yes, that's good. Goner.
No.
She had to save that.
Oh, but no time. She had no time.
And as you can see, the bar is back in the middle. Both players with 10 seconds now.
Oh.
Do not jump. Do not fork. Okay. Bishop E1.
Just bring the king back to F3 and that's it. That's a draw.
Oh, that's genius, Reg.
Yeah, just King D3, King E3, King F3. I would she's just provoking F5 as well. Very thematic. Or you can just leave the king on C4 too. I don't think it changes anything. Maybe Vantika will try to hope for some mistake, some fork.
Yeah,
But the sad thing is even the king pawn ending is a draw here.
yeah, that's the problem. Everything so symmetrical, very difficult for Vantika to convert.
Exactly. She goes knight for just King C4 now. Simple.
Keep the king. Even you can see by the reactions, Carissa is extremely confident of holding this and taking the title home.
Oh yes, and now I think we will just repeat moves. Maybe Vantika will still try to play. Look at that, knight F3 check, some sneaky checks incoming, but obviously that's not going to work here. Knight F1 possible, perhaps. She's hoping that maybe the bishop can go somewhere else and then she can play knight F1 check. Okay, finally she goes King E3.
Okay, some progress.
Okay, but if I put my king on G2 and put my, like, let's say bishop on G1, what do you do?
Offer a draw.
I know, maybe you have knight E3 or knight E1 check there. Actually, it's not that simple.
Yeah, and I think kudos to Vantika. She is playing on 82 moves played, Sahaj.
I think we're crossing the 100 move thread. Oh wow, she gets up from the board. Look at that.
Yeah.
It was too far. Knight F1 check. Wait, is that a repetition?
No, not yet. The chess combo hasn't told us. I think we are going to see 100 plus moves here, Sahaj.
We are on move 89 right now, so 10 more moves to go.
Knight H2, or bishop in the corner. Yeah, there is just no way, no pawn breaks possible. But finally, the king is centralized for black. One check to the white king, and that might be tough for Carissa.
Yes, absolutely. Looks like a tough position, but I think she's hoping that her king can go to D3 eventually, and then she can start giving some checks. Perhaps put her knight on E4 and then get the king to E2. Slow progress, but it is possible.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
100 moves are incoming, by the way.
Yeah, and the last capture was on the 60th move with king takes pawn.
No, king takes C5. King takes C5 it must be, no? And then F5 as well.
Yeah, this one.
Knight
F5, 67.
67.
So 117 is the drawing move and we are at 103.
117 for the players. So it's 75 moves for the arbiter.
For the arbiters, yeah. Everyone is glued to their seat except Vantika because she senses an opportunity here.
It's so tense.
Any trick?
Playing this.
Can you tell us and chat any trick?
I think some moves have been played there. No, I think there is a trick. You want to put the knight on E4 and you want to put the king on E2 as black, and then you want to reroute the knight again, give knight E3 check, and you just want to drive the king to the king side as much as possible, essentially. But Carissa is not
5 moves to go.
Wait, is she claiming?
Yeah, Carissa is claiming. She's claiming the 50 move draw. We see the arbiter.
There is no 50 move rule here. Not yet.
Not yet. Drama. I think the arbiter will tell her, Carissa, you have to do it after 5 more moves. Even if they give Vantika an additional minute, it won't change matters. The arbiters have gone to check. Players are tensed.
But in this situation, I think Vantika will get
1 minute extra.
1 minute extra.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We don't know.
I mean, technically she should.
Yeah, but maybe. We don't know. Anything is possible.
I think the arbiters are still confirming. We know that 5 more moves are needed. The chief arbiter. Okay, I think Vantika is going to get some time added probably.
Yeah, an extra 1 minute. I don't think it really changes. At least the arbiter will now tell her how many moves she needs. And then she can claim again.
That's like a very nice...
Oh, look at that. She's getting extra time on the clock.
Oh, nice. But I mean, Vantika just has 5 more moves to find the winning pattern. But even that won't suffice because she needs a pawn move or a capture, chat. That's the 50 move rule.
Oh yes, oh yes. And then there she is. You can see the 1 minute extra for Vantika there.
I think it should be done on the TGT as well. But let's come back. Action is back. 4 more moves to go now.
Oh yes. Having some moves, but we're not able to see it on the board. The 1 minute and 6 seconds, you can see that is updated.
Can we go to the other scene where we can see the moves being played? So we'll try to enter it manually.
The games will probably be just 5 more moves and that's it.
So the knight has gotten into f4. Okay, now we have the moves. Amazing.
Okay, bishop h8. Now no. That's I don't think that's good.
No, but she has just 1 move to go.
Oh yeah, that's
117 is the drawing move. Do you just capture knight takes pawn?
Yeah, this is a draw. You can claim now.
Carissa, go ahead and claim. If you want the title, you claim it.
So my question is, in a situation like this, does the arbiter tell you how many more moves you need? Or does he just say, no, it's a wrong claim?
I mean, I'm no expert on that, but we'll get to know maybe. And she does it again, very smartly.
Yes,
Probably
that's
she
clever.
got the move number.
Yeah. That's very clever there. And now this must be the right claim.
But if it's the wrong claim, does Vantika get another minute?
Yeah. And then we just keep repeating this pattern, yeah. And there it is, handshakes, and Carissa Yip is officially the winner of the Tata Steel Chess Blitz section. Huge congratulations to Carissa Yip. She played phenomenal in this event, especially on day 3, taking down Vantika, taking down Goryachkina in the process, and she was leading from day 1 itself.
Yeah, big congratulations to Carissa. Vantika also great comeback in the end with 4 wins on the bounce, as we see Carissa shaking hands with Leonard, our photographer and DGT expert here, who also has developed the website for Tata Steel Chess. Sahaj, big day overall for Team USA.
So there you go. Pretty exciting finish.
Pretty worked up.
Yeah. So I guess we should talk a little about the 50 move rule if anybody doesn't understand. Do you want to
Sure.
cover it?
So once the moves start counting after the last capture or the last pawn move, a player can claim a draw after 50 moves by each player. I once tried a 3-move repetition claim, but I was off by a move. So it's tricky. And so you see Carissa maybe had help from the arbiter, kind of had it in her mind that, she's got 10 to 15 seconds left. Her bishop is way over across the board. It's taking longer to make that reach, right? But she had the base time under control. And then at some point she stopped the clock, which is the right way to do it, and made the claim. If you make the claim and it's right, then that's the game. And that's what happened the second time. But the first time she was wrong by about 5 moves. And so what happens then is it'll still be her turn. There's no penalty like you lose the game or anything, like if it was an illegal move in Blitz.
Right.
But her opponent gets an extra minute on her clock. Yeah. And it varies depending on what the time control is, but a minute for Blitz. And so now you saw there was a point where there was a pause in the play because now her opponent could kind of think for a few seconds and had an extra minute.
Right.
But it didn't matter because Carissa's position was such that she just had to tack back and forth.
Right.
So it wasn't, at her level, it wasn't a challenge, right? The only challenge was when the king and bishop were near one another and maybe could get forked by the knight.
Right.
After the bishop cleared out to the other side of the board, there was really no chance to lose.
Yeah.
So if you think that you have some kind of result to play for, maybe a win, and you don't want to have somebody claim a draw on you, one strategy would be to make 45 or 49 moves, if you could count that precisely, and then maybe capture a pawn or make a capture, make a trade, and then the count will start over. Or move a pawn. And so the 50 moves counts from when the pawn position has not changed or the board position. So the same number of pieces
Right.
and the pawn position.
Right.
They also alluded to another rule, which is they might just keep playing. Maybe you don't have the confidence to say, I counted to 50 correctly, or
Right.
or it's 60 and I'm just so deep into the game.
Right.
You could have to really play the position.
Right.
There's another rule that at 75 moves, the
Yes.
arbiter can come in and say, they're stopping the game and awarding the draw.
Right.
By the way, in U.S. chess, I don't know about FEB, which is the international chess, if you claim a draw, it's the same thing as a draw offer. So you might claim a draw because you think
Yep.
it's to your benefit,
Yep.
but your opponent maybe is really low on time, or maybe doesn't have the position or the pieces that could really play for a win.
Yep.
They can say, well, it's not a repetition or it's not 50 moves, but I'll take the draw because you've
Oh, really?
technically offered it,
Yeah.
and kind of bail out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So a couple other things I noticed about that game was the announcers, even though they're from India,
Yep.
hometown girl
Yep.
there, they called it pretty straight. I mean, they were
Right.
very complimentary of Carissa.
Right. Yeah.
She played two different kind of games, right? The first game we showed was kind of messy, kind of
Yeah.
tactical,
Yeah.
and this one was a pretty technical end game.
Right.
She played them both really well,
Yeah.
and they complimented her the whole time.
Yep.
And then there was a couple of times, the first game was a lot more exciting in terms
Right.
of the ebb and flow of
Sure,
who might
yep.
have a chance. And
Yep.
on the left side of the screen, by the way, was a chess.com feed, which is I think they own Chess24 now. On the left side, there's an evaluation bar, and a lot of times the announcers will watch that to see if there's a big change in the white versus black
Right.
stripe.
Right.
And in the second game, there were 2 times, one for each player, where it looked like they had a chance,
Right.
and they both missed it. Otherwise, it was a dead even game.
Which is amazing because
100 and something moves.
yeah.
I mean, we said before, we would have to, it would be completely random for us to play 100 moves basically correctly.
Yeah.
Toward the end, it's a little easier because, any bishop move that doesn't get forked is a good move, right, for
Right.
Carissa. But to get there, it was flatline the whole way, which means I think they played it 95% accuracy, if I remember right, for both of them.
At that speed, it's
Yeah. I mean,
amazing.
I think we can play that with a long game.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe a couple times a year we do
Right,
that.
right,
And
right.
it has to be your night.
Yeah.
And they just did it
Yep.
without blinking.
Yep. And I can tell you from experience, when you get into time pressure like that, your heart rate is way over 100.
Oh, yeah, your hands shake.
And your hands are shaking, and I have this recollection. I think it was without increment though. One of the longest games I ever played was against Paul Godin, and it was a similar kind of end game. I think Paul had the knight, I had the bishop. I think it was even number of pawns, and I think it they make it look easy, and it seems like all I should have to do is just keep moving my bishop around without thinking. I think eventually I stepped into a fork, which is a killer, because you.
Well, you get a little blind. I played the other night, and I had one move to save the game.
Yep.
And leading up to the whole sequence of events, the previous captures and recaptures, I knew that move.
Yep.
And when the time came, it was like a blind spot. And that's how it happened. It doesn't
Yeah.
take anything.
I know. So the control that they have is almost superhuman, but they are amongst the best in the world.
Right.
So
One other good move I thought she made was, at one point she moved her bishop to attack the f pawn, which was on f6, a dark square.
Okay.
And that caused Vantika to push that up to a light square, but it set the pawn position, which meant at that point Carissa could just start counting.
okay,
Because
yeah,
to change the pawn structure, you'd have to push the center pawn, and you would lose if you did that. So
Right.
you
Yep.
couldn't do that.
Yep.
So that was a good intermediate move to set the position and
Right.
go from there.
And to be able to think of that with that
Yeah.
so little time is amazing. So we have a little bit of time. I think the one thing we could talk about is, since this was won by Carissa, we should talk about Carissa's recent result. So you had mentioned earlier there is another Tata Steel event, and that's the the one they call the Wimbledon of chess, which just finished. It happens in Wijk aan Zee in the Netherlands, and the two main events there is they have the Masters section, which is the best players in the world, and that one I think does have, I think it's is it 14 players?
14, yeah.
14. So 14 of the best players in the world. But then they also have the Challengers section, which Carissa just played in for the first time. And one of the things about the Challengers section is that whoever wins it goes on, gets to move up automatically to the Masters the next year. So this was a giant international event for Carissa to play in. And it was also one that if she did well enough, she could qualify for a Grandmaster norm. I don't know if we have that much time to get into it, but if you get 3 Grandmaster norms, that's one of the qualifications for becoming a Grandmaster. So it's that and a minimum rating of 2,500. And Carissa was playing well enough that she had to get 7.5 points total to get that Grandmaster norm. And she was playing well enough to look like she was going to get to 7.5, but she ended up at 7. So, you know, that close to her final Grandmaster norm. But in any event, you know, she played really well. Her rating, you know, went up, and she's now, I just looked at it, she's now the number 13 female in the world after this event. So, kind of heartbreaking in a way.
It seems a bit, yeah. I mean, she had her chances, but an American actually won the second section.
That's right. He was a teenager,
Andy Woodward.
right?
He's 15, so he gets to play with the Masters next year.
Yeah.
But as the final rounds were coming along, they repeatedly made the point that it's a grueling tournament. They play one game a day, but it's several hours.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising that over the course of 13 games, with a couple of days for rest days in the middle, that, you know, over a couple of weeks that you'd have a chance and maybe you wouldn't see it. I mean, they're playing, you know, I don't know how many, several hundred moves in, you know, almost 1,000 moves maybe in a couple weeks. It's hard to be as accurate as that Blitz game just was.
Right.
On the other hand, her second norm, I think it was at the Cairns Cup last spring.
I think so,
in St. Louis, which included some of these GMs, they're women and they're GMs. They're not women GMs. It's a different title. These are flat out GMs. Yeah. And she ended up starting slow and just blasted right through the field and got a second norm by winning that tournament. So in spite of the fact that it's kind of disappointing, I'm sure, but I don't see how she's not going to make it.
I know. She's so close, and again, she actually did play a very good tournament. And these are some of the best players in the world. In fact, I think in the first round. Oh, by the way, we're showing the 4 winners here on the screen. Wesley So,
Nihal Sarin,
Katerina Lagno, and Carissa. Those are the 4 winners. What was I saying?
She played well.
She played well. And I think it was the very first round she played Vasily Ivanchuk, who was once the number 2 player in the world. And so that was pretty wild. I mean, for someone like her to play someone,
he's a legend.
He's an absolute legend. You could do a whole show on him because they say he's one of the quirkiest, most idiosyncratic chess players in the world. But anyway, we actually made our time here, and thank you very much. You were a giant help.
By the way, there's an open section at Wijk aan Zee for the rest of the world.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
If you're interested.
Yeah, someday maybe we could be there. Anyway, we hope you'll join us for the next episode of Chess Chat. George Mirjanian should be here. I'm not sure when it's going to be, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.